Hello, fifth grade. Welcome to my dining room. Thank you for being so patient with me as I'm working through and trying to figure out some videos for you. I'm super excited because I do have the dragon eye video that we're going to go ahead and create today. And then I'm going to follow it up with using the second half of your clay to create a clay gnome. I love both the ideas, so I wanted to show you how to make both of them. Now, my request of you is that you choose to make one of the two projects for school and then use the other half of your clay to possibly make a second project or a free project. So I'm going to spin you around so you can go ahead and see what's working in clay world. So as you're spinning, you'll notice that I've got a table set up, and on my table, I went ahead and I made a tablecloth. Well, I laid out a tablecloth that has the plastic on it. And then I also laid out some water buckets. I have our clay. I've pulled aside a straw, a toothbrush for creating the scoring or the marking it up, comb, fork. There's a plastic knife to be used for cutting. And then I have a couple different size rolling pins. Here's your clay. It might still be in the bag unless you've already taken it out and practiced making the snowman. If you haven't watched the video that shows you how to wedge your clay, you do need to go back and kind of wedge your clay out a little bit, fold it up. So here's my pound of clay. I'm pulling it and I'm separating it, and I'm going to take half of it and leave it here. The other half I'm going to go ahead and put back into the bag because I don't want it to dry out. If you've already wedged your clay and you're getting your clay out for the second or even third or fourth time, the one thing to kind of keep in mind is your clay drying out? Which means if your clay has started to dry out, it's showing some cracks on the surface of the clay. As it's showing cracks, that means it's drying and you need to add some water to it. So here I go with my clay for my dragon eye. The dragon eyes are pretty awesome. You know, we've already made them this year using paper, and we created a 3D pop-out dragon eye. So what we're going to create this way is it is going to be a little bit 3D, and we're going to split our clay into we need to split it into about 4 sections. One section is going to be the flat background. The other 2 of the sections are going to be the eyelids, and then the 4th is going to be any extra details you'd like to add. So I'll pull it apart. You could cut it with the knife if you want to. Here's my sections. This one, I'm going to take, instead of making this one even, I'm going to take a little bit of clay from it, and I'm just going to have a small piece sit here. This will be a slightly bigger. This is going to be the base of my dragon eye. And I'm going to start by, it's going to be flat. We're going to have a flat dragon eye. So I'm going to start by having it a little bit flattened in my hands. Use my rolling pin, and you'll roll it 1, 2, flip it over, 1, 2. By only rolling it about 2 times, I'm helping so that my clay does not stick to the table and it doesn't get too thin. There you go. So this is my base. I've gone pretty thin with my, it's a little bit thinner than the thickness of my finger. So probably I could have left it a little bit thicker if I really wanted to, but this will be okay. All right, so I want to cut the shape of my dragon eye. This is the background. On top of this, I'm going to put an eye and I'm going to put an eyelid. So I want to go for almost a curved football type shape. Curved football shape. So there's my first curve. I'm going to leave these extra pieces. I know I'll come back to them. I know I'm going to use them. There we go. All right, so here we go. This is my dragon eye piece to start with. My little football. I'm going to bring my camera down a little bit closer so you can see some more of the detail work that I'm going to go into it. I still have all my supplies. I could make this side a little more pointed if I want to, but I could all just say this is the inside of my eye, and this is the pointed outside of the eye. But I'll move this up, but I'm going to kind of keep it in my area because now I need to make an eyelid. Okay, so one of the examples that you would have seen if you looked at some of my pictures on Class Dojo is they took a circle piece right here that was colorful and had the black on it. Secret alert. It's a marble. The glass marble is put into there, and then they colored black on top of it with a black Sharpie. We can do that without a problem when it comes out of the kiln. If we put the glass marble into the kiln, it would melt. So we'll do that when it comes back. So I'm just going to leave this here. I'm going to leave it open. If it makes you feel weird, you could draw a circle in here of your best guess of about how big that the eye might be. And then you could also even add in some eyelid like this or eyelid like this to have a rough idea of what you want your eye to look like, what you want your dragon eye to look like. So there we're already pretty far along. Okay, let me I'm going to create the lower lid first, and I'm going to show you how to add a little bit of texture to this before you attach it onto your eye. All right, here we go. I'm going to do my flattening my hands a little bit. Now, I need this piece this way long. So when I flatten it, I'm going to actually go and try and create almost a oval shape first before I flatten. So it's already started the way that I need it. When I roll it, I'm going to make sure that I always roll it this way, because I need this to start being long and skinny. Hold it up a little bit longer. It's a little piece, so I'm actually only rolling it probably 2 or 3 times. Oh, that looks pretty good. So I know that I need to add it here. I'm flipping it over a couple times. Now this is too big, but I'm going to lay it on here to get my idea. And then I'm just going to cut it softly while it's on top of the eye. See how I did that? Now I'm going to take it off, and now this time I'm going to cut it all the way through. And I'm going to move this piece up here. So now I have the lower lid of my dragon eye. Where it hangs over, like this, I can flip it over and cut it off. If that bothers you, if it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. Ta-dum. There you go. Now, I don't want to smush it down too hard because I have to do the correct method of attaching. So when I go to attach the clay, I'm going to comb it. You could use your fork. You could use a toothbrush. I've talked about using a toothbrush to pull up a texture to it, any of it. And then I'm going to comb this section where it's going to touch. Kids, if you don't do this, if you don't comb your clay, what's going to happen is the clay will stick together right now without a problem. But once it dries, because it has to be dry to go in the kiln, it will fall apart. Rub a little bit of water on it where I want it to connect. It's not erasing the scoring. It's not erasing the attaching, but it is adding it like it's glue. So I'm going to smear it. I'm going to rub it with my finger to bring it together. I'm rubbing it on the sides of it. Now, I'm going to try and leave it lifted up a little bit so that when it comes time and it's come out of the kiln, where the circle is that I drew, that's where I'm going to try and slide the marble in. Now, this project is so touchy. I'm a little concerned that it's sticking to my table. So I'm going to try and make sure I can lift it up. And when I lift it up, you can see how I've left a pocket for the eyeball. All right, now I'm just going to repeat the same process on the top, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. And this time I want to add a little bit of texture to the back of it. Now, before I get moving too fast with this, I am going to stop I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put my initials on the back of this so I know whose is whose. Because I'll probably be firing these, and then you'll have to come back and grab them, the possibility. So I put my initials, and I put a 5 on it. By putting a 5 on this, I know that this was created by a 5th grade student. Perfect. All right, 5. Might look like an S, but we'll survive. All right, now I'm going to add some texture to this by taking the end of a straw and poking it. By doing this, I'm adding a scaly texture to my dragon eye. I'll put my hand in here so that it doesn't push the pocket down. That's really, really cool. I love that. So much easier than drawing at this point in time. So I'll finish this with my straw. I'm not pushing really hard into the clay. I'm making sure that it's kind of soft. Soft push. I'm just indenting a little bit. Oh, I like this. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with the top of my eyelid, but I want to make it just a smidgen different. What I want to do with this now is I want to make a fat coil. Now, coil for Clay World is basically a sausage. All right, and it's a little coil sausage. And I want to add a little bit of texture in here. So I'm going to roll my coil out so that it is as long as the top of the eye. Now, I could have easily just created another one of these, rolled it out flat, cut it, and then stuck it on up here. So you still have that option if you want to. But I'm going to do a coil right here. And I want to attach a coil onto this. And I'm going to leave this bumped up. So you can look straight down on it. Bumped up so I can put my eyeball in there. So I'm going to go back and comb it. Comb it. Add some water to it. I'm just going to comb this whole thing because I know all of it's going to have it. Add water to both of these. Now, at any point in time I'm going too fast or you can't figure out what I'm doing, please stop it and go back. I'm trying to keep these videos to around 15 minutes. So I'm just going to rush through, kind of go a little bit fast and create this. And I think we'll be okay. All right, now I want to try something though. I want to try rolling my clay out. I want to try making it nice and long because one of the dragon eye pictures that I saw had like points to it. I want to show you an easy way. That didn't work. It ripped. So I'm going to restart, add a little more clay. I'm going to show you an easy way to add points to your dragon eye. You could add eyelashes. You could add rock pebbles, as long as you score all of them. You could add more lines like I did with my coil. All kinds of different options are available. Okay, here we go. So now, looking at this, I'm going to cut a slice, and I think what I'm going to do is just slice it like this. Okay? I'm going to slice like this along the bottom. And pull it away just like I made some cookies. And I've already combed this, so I need to comb this. And I'm going to attach it on. Water. Water. So now this part like sticks up. And I like actually how this is sticking up. Ooh, that's pretty cool. And I would probably, knowing me, if I had a little extra time, I'll add another piece. But I'm going to run, but watch the next video for more information.